They've, of course, played it twice already this stage, and they did lose both of them, albeit, but still it's that willingness of them being able to move in and actually play the map, and we know they can have wins on it. They're actually on a 6-game win streak this year before getting into stage 2. So it's not as if it's like a horrendous win rate. And ITB, a team which have not shown it. So this is really interesting from ITP's perspective. What are they actually going to be able to bring, and what are they actually going to be able to do against a team like G2?
Dokkaebi and Thatcher, first two to be removed here. And the Dokkaebi removal is certainly one to talk about. Azami, no real surprises there. Dokkaebi is something that, I mean, a lot of teams use it, let's be honest. It's a very popular attacker. But the Thatcher ban demo, I thought we were past all this sort of stuff.
Not necessarily. I think the big thing about Thatcher on a map like Skyscraper is getting breaches open can be tricky at times, mostly because there are very strong positions on the bomb sites where Bandit and Kai can have a big influence. So being able to just disable, you know, the effortless value of just throwing an EMP to get rid of those Kaid claws, it means that the attackers have to work so much harder. They have to then go below, maybe bring an IQ to find out where it is, maybe combo that with EMP grenades. It's a lot more work, really, for just opening a wall where Thatcher, oh, throw it down, open the wall, no problem. I would say that the wall denial is going to be a big part of ITB's strategy. If you make sure you can keep G2 out of the map, you should have no issue with dealing with this team. G2, we've already seen on Nighthaven, they like to open up as many avenues of success as they can. So being able to limit those breaches and make sure they can't have, you know, oh, we can maybe push through Geisha, that wall's open for us. Oh, we can push in towards VIP, that wall's open for us. If they don't have those accessible to them, then G2 are really going to struggle, and they kind of have to play off then like individual plays, which, sure, that works well for a team like G2, where you do have players like Benja, for example, but it's not consistent, and that is the key. You need consistency to win these games.
Valkyrie going to be the defender ban of ITB's choosing. G2 certainly have played a lot of Valkyrie. I think when available, it's still a fantastic operator to bring. On Skyscraper especially, there are a lot of hiding places for those cameras, so I did have something to say about that. Didn't seem too pleased, but G2, they're going to be starting off on the attack regardless, so it's going to be at least 6 rounds till they have to worry about the lack of a Valkyrie in their own defensive setups. Instead, they're going to be looking at attacking in to what ITB have set up for them here. And as you predicted, Demo, lots and lots of denial. We've got a Bandit and we've got a Cade. Really trying to limit G2's access into the site and the building. And no EMPs to deal with said electrification. Instead, it's the old-fashioned way. Seeing a good bit of teamwork, some drones come through, and nades from below.
G2 looking to see if they can get this information passed around. There's so many yellow pings, they don't know where to look. First one misses though. Dokkaebi doesn't get the opportunity to get an opening pick for his stats, but he is right below him. Another nade surely could take him out. Benja was looking for it, but Dokkaebi then collects Azers. He walked over the vertical hole made by the nade.
Not ideal from Azza there. A little bit of a lapse in judgment. G2 still struggling to get themselves in a position where they can effectively use this breach utility, though. You know, is going to discover the location of Yonka. But Yonka isn't going to be too concerned about that at the moment. He can still hang around inside a drum. Dokkaebi and Benja now both below.
They've placed it inside a drum, the Kai claw, so what goes over to the other wall, so you cannot shoot it from barbecue. And to eliminate that Kai claw, you need to take drum, which is a big task in itself for G2. This is what I wanted to see from ITB. I wanted to see them really hold on to those breaches, limit the options of G2, and then they have to go for these individual plays, and there can be missteps for G2. This is where they can slip up. I like this flank from Kanto, a great shot into the head of Benja, and that just causes more issues. G2 might be a little bit rattled now, knowing that, hey, we haven't got breach open, and we've lost Benja, who was looking to go up main stairs.
More importantly, Kanto's still below, ready to flank whenever necessary. Virtue is going to get choked out by the Toxic Babe gas here. Kanto has made that rotation. He's going to be inside of Dragon at the moment, but he knows all he needs to do is bide his time. He takes Virtue out there as he tries to rotate in. Alamau And finally start to try and drag things back here as he's desperately pre-firing on toward gold, but Yonka still in a position to try and pick some up. Alamau, he's looking pretty nasty here, though. He's found himself 2 great kills. He might have given himself a bit of space to get the plant down, but Kanto, we mentioned him, still alive, does have a C4, isn't really in position to use it. He's going to have to aggressively push up now. Oh no, he's fluffed it. He threw it and it hit the side of the door. That's unforgivable. Uno, he takes Yonka out, and Kanto's now got a tough job ahead of him. Alamau, the man of the round, burst into karaoke, picked up a couple of kills, gets a plant and the final kill.
I just don't know how they've been able to do that. The final 30 seconds just screamed ITB. They've done everything that I wanted to see from them. Make sure that they cannot open those walls, limit G2. But then they just let them walk into sight anyway. I don't know how they've been able to pull that off. It is such just... My head's blown. If that's, you know, kind of more to come of that, then I don't know if I want that. I really don't. I don't want it to be another quick one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a real tilter from Into the Breach because, as you mentioned, they'd done everything well. They'd done everything right at the start of that round. They had brought the correct operators. They'd utilized the utility in the correct way. They'd denied any hope of getting in through one of the walls. It was going to take a big, big task from G2 of taking a lot of ground in a gunfight with the tools that they had at their disposal. And then Alamau just rotates and repels in through karaoke window, and the lads pick up. It just doesn't seem... I was very surprised, I'll be honest with you, to see Kanto rotate up the bedroom stairs.
I don't know why he's not going below.
Through. I don't know why he wouldn't go below. I feel like he could have just stayed below there. Doki was still there with Benja. Doki got dealt with at some point in the round. I forget when now. But I feel like Kanto just needed to try and hold his nerve and play for the plant denial with the C4 because that's really what it came down to.
I forget who it is, and they're lucky I forget who it was. Whoever was with Kanto in the 2v2, I have to question what he was doing.
I think it was Jonker.
We can only watch so much, but whoever that was, I think, has to take some of the blame. Why is he not doubling up with Kanto? You know there's hardly any time. You know they're in karaoke. That's where they have to plant. Why are they not just double pushing that?
Yeah, I think you could go around in circles, really, with some of the mistakes that were made in the final stages of that round, and a lot of it just comes back to overall decision-making and being put under a lot of pressure. Pressure isn't going to stop after round number 1, though. Doki, he's going to be here to apply it again, and Benja picks up a freebie. It looks like he's not done. He knows that there's one inside a goal, but he's going to get torn through. Azza on the long range. He's going to do him there. Noah, now going to try and join into the party. He's just not prepared for Alamau to be prone, man.
Oh, they've just ripped them. Teared them up. ITB, what are you doing? They've tried to take the fight to G2. You know, G2 almost felt like defenders in that aspect, Ollie, where the defenders were running after them. Like, what's going on? G2 didn't even attack the site.
The site was the other side of the map. We were defending karaoke and T again there. That's certainly what it felt like.
I have a bad feeling.
Yeah, I mean, if you're chaining attacking rounds together like this on a skyscraper.
Yep, with those bans as well.
With those bans, there's a little bit of an issue. Thatcher
ban, it's tricky.
You should be absolutely locking it down. And G2 should be really fumbling for ways to get in. They should be being forced into IQ picks, you know, everything.
I love Mao. You banned your Valkyrie. Maybe G2 weren't expecting the Valkyrie ban. Maybe they were expecting ITB to bring that to the party. But I think if you actually look at Nighthaven, the way even G2 were utilizing the Valkyrie, that has almost forced ITB's hand to have to ban that away from them.
I would agree.
But then they lose it themselves. This is quite the dilemma with the bans. If only, Ollie, you could bring more than just the one defender ban to help you out. Maybe you could have a few more.
I think Into the Breach would rather have more attacker bans here and just force everyone to play recruit for G2.
I don't know, G2 are a very flexible side. Very, like, I always think they're the most flexible side. Well, maybe bar Wild, because they'll bring anything and everything. But I think G2, the way that they can all play the different operators is, you know, a credit to them. I mean, look at the lineup. A lot of changes here. You know, we're seeing a Sophia get brought in. Grim's there. Benja on the Twitch now. Only constant Zuno, really. Oh. No, Benja misses out on the bulletproof. Needs to be quicker on that. Would have been a good pick to get. Locks down the eyes towards that restaurant. G2, they're looking pretty standard as it goes. Ollie open up in towards Geisha. Vertical control is a key for these sides on the attack. You want to push everyone out of the kitchen, out of barbecue, into your different crossfires you can set up. And some of the longer angles, even some of the windows outside that can lock down in towards the bar area. Bathroom's another one. ITB not looking to give Geisha up too easily to them. Still a few players scattered around here and there, but in goes the Bees. They can spot one, but just standing in the middle of the room goes Noah. Huge play from Noah, completely catches him by surprise. And G2 hit where it hurts.
Where's the info for G2? Surely they know that Noah is stood inside of Geisha. I was going to comment and say that I'm surprised we didn't see the Cade brought again to just restrict that wall from getting open, and credit G2 in being able to achieve that task this time. But they've forgotten the other key ingredient, and that's winning your gunfights. Uno, he's going to win one there onto Noah. But Noah has already played his part inside of this round. Benja doubled up with Uno here. He's going to try and make something happen. Might get an angle here. You can find the toe. Oh, Benja. That one's going to hurt if you can, Drew. Shot in the foot to level up the man count here. 2 men apiece, but Uno, pretty low HP.
This is a close one. ITB, they still have that bulletproof. Remember I mentioned before that Benja didn't eliminate with a Twitch. Speaking of Twitch, gets eliminated. Yonka, a great 2-piece. Snaps onto 1, snaps onto 2. It's not going to be a full sweep, Ollie. We were fearful of that. ITB get their first round, and it's a first round that came in not too late into the game.
A good time to get it up there for ITB, really. Round number 4 now underway. Back to Tea Room and Karaoke. Into the Breach are going to bring the Cade this time, and G2 should be aware of this. They should know where this Cade Claw is because they've suffered to it once before. Ideally, they don't suffer to it again. So I'm hoping that getting into Geisha is going to be a little bit more of a straightforward process. And I'm also hoping on Into the Breach's side that they don't just let Alum out, get himself into Karaoke, pick up 2 kills and get a plant down. So we'll see how the round develops from here. Virtue is in fact going to be making a little bit of a 6-pick. If you see a Ying demo, usually it at least clocks our attention. That Ying now being locked in. Uno has actually gone over onto the ace for this round as well, so
yeah,
they definitely should be able to open up the Geisha breach, but obviously with bringing the Ying now, it depends on where they want to use that utility as well.
I feel as though that G2 might just trying to go pretty direct into the site, and well, they're going to have to now as they've lost the hard breacher. Uno's been picked off. He was running for the window, just gets shot through it. As easy as that. That's Siege for you in a nutshell. Things like that do happen. So this now limits G2 to really just the black stairs and that's it. And black door. But that's a tricky one to clear out. Whenever we're dealing with shotguns as well from Kendry in that position on the smoke, he can smoke the door and focus on the stairs, or he can smoke the stairs, focus on the door. So he's always going to be able to almost like 2 fronts at one time, just with his kit. And the shotgun is a scary one to go up against, especially on a staircase, we know that. Is this where G2 are going to try and revert into getting nades kills from below to try and square it up in the man advantage? In goes the Candela from Virtue, and that has been very poorly timed. It's been caught there by the on my disc. And he now will try and push in against the shotgun, somehow wins that. I don't know how though. He's barely missed the Jaeger, and he is secure top black now.
That's huge from Doki, and it's almost beneficial at this point that there isn't a rotation into Karaoke because he can try and hold this piece of ground and maybe look to get a rotation made in there. He's got his eyes on somebody inside of gold, and Virtue's going to try and swing the corner and assist him a little bit here. The smoke is going to go out. Doki can start to gather his own information. We got Alamau outside on the rappel. He's just going to be waiting for the right moment to try and swing on in. Benja still with a nade in pocket. Benja is going to be below as well. He's got an important one to win here against Kanto. Is he going to manage it? Wow. He does. Picks the head. Doki, second kill on the round. Azza got a bit of vertical to play with here, but the nade coming up from Benja and the Candela's coming in. He needs to turn his attention to sight.
Azza misses the chance on eliminating Benja, and it just feels like a matter of time for G2 get their grubby mitts into the site. Yonka has found that lone player of G2. Benja goes down and will rotate below. Has a C4, but with no real information to play off. It will be planted now into the post plant. ITB need to retake a C4. Misses now as they're swinging in towards Drum. He knows there's one player. There's a yellow ping. They have information from a bulletproof. Azzer just go for the pre-fire. Doki has no idea and will suffer the blow. One more player in the site for G2 that Azzer has to deal with, and he's full blind. He doesn't know what's happening, getting hit from every left which way, but no, Alamau gives himself up. And now 1 versus 1. Virtue is not on the healthiest amount of HP, but that's a great reposition for Virtue. Knowing that the player's gonna come from Drum, rotates into Geisha, and an easy shot when Azzer isn't looking. Phenomenal work from G2, but Ollie, do you know what play I found most impressive out of all of that? Doki using the Gemini clone to go below, to drone for Benja, knowing that the Solus is going to be the only thing to cause an upset for G2. I love that play.
Again, it comes back to the thing that we've commented most about this G2 roster, and that is their teamwork. They have got a phenomenal level of teamwork, and that ability from Doki to find that space. I commented at the time that it was beneficial that Karaoke Wall was left soft, or at least left intact, and that he could actually occupy that space now because he's safe. He's not going to get C4'd there. He's not going to suffer. He's got Cross being held by Virtue, and for Virtue there to be able to swing and pick up that final kill. Again, great teamwork. A good effort from Azza. We live in a game of one-shot headshots. All he's got to do is land one bullet onto Virtue there, and you know, you replay that round enough times, he'll land a bullet onto Virtue, I guarantee it. A close round in terms of man count, but G2 doing such great work to get the diffuser down there and to really burst on into the site. And considering that things didn't really go their way at some points during that round, into the breach. Going to feel a little bit hard done to there. They are going to take their tactical timeout there at the end of round number 4, at the start of round number 5. And just see if they can stabilize here. There's still chance for an equal half here on Sky.
Here we go. This is a site which ITB just threw away. Challenged G2 on the other side of the map. Didn't really see any site play whatsoever. I think for ITB, leaving the Ying up with Skyscraper against G2 was a big, bold fight. And I really don't know if it was the one. I'm even more shocked that the Warden isn't being picked up.
You almost forget about the Warden, don't you? We've seen it banned once today, and it's just almost out of my mind.
Like, finally we're getting it, but it just feels too late. You know, it just, why was this not being brought in way earlier against the Ying? Oh dear.
Oh dear, Benja.
Disrespect from this man.
Yeah. Just gone 6-ing out here.
Oh, he's such a meme.
Well, Kanto, all that information that you're looking to gather on the Solace, you know, left with only cameras. Not the best position to be in. But again, I mean, is it the biggest loss? We know that G2 are playing a plant-focused game of Siege here, but I don't know, with the way that these rounds are currently going, I'm not sure how much it's really going to matter. Look at him go, Doki. On the reverse, throws the nade, opens up the line of sight, and Azza gets shocked with getting his feet shot to bits. Doki will be 1 HP for his trouble, but damage done. 2 kills and no response.
It's not as if anyone's going to aggress on the Doki. ITB just look out of it, and even Doki, sure, he doesn't have a lot of HP to really swing onto the challenges, but he still has an nade he can utilize. As I think it did get sent out there. Yeah, it has. He's missing all of them now. There goes another. ITB, no site action whatsoever. All of them just dying away from the bomb site. Look, there's another one. Yes, yeah, it's... The word chocked comes to mind.
Yeah, again, you know, it's the same as last time, isn't it? It doesn't matter where the site is because it isn't being fought over. We're fighting on the other side of the map. I think Yonkers unfortunate there not to hit headshot onto Alamau. It did look quite close. He already had one player down, but we can't keep feigning excitement over these clutches that could be. You know, it is G2 performing a masterclass right now. 4 rounds to 1, final round of their attack. An attacker-sided skyscraper with the bans that we've got ahead of us in this current meta and day and age. It seems unusual, but G2, they're leaps and bounds ahead of Into the Breach at the moment.
It just feels very deflating, doesn't it? It feels very sad that this is kind of how it's ended up. ITB only really got 1 round to sing and dance about. But G2, it's just the consistency, Ollie. All of them are just playing well. It's the exact same that happened to them on Nighthaven, where the whole team's just showing up. There isn't really a standout, but I think for G2 to have a standout player, then they're either against really strong opposition and somebody has to step up, or else, you know, some players aren't playing up to the standard. But whenever all of them are playing well, no one needs to be head and shoulders above the rest. You know, 5 players doing their job wins you games. You don't have to play for anyone else. You don't have to play for 2. You're just playing for yourself.
That's what G2 are doing so well at the moment. Final round here for Into the Breach. On their current half. Chance to make it a 4-2 split. But it just feels more likely that it's going to be a 5-1 in favor of G2. Alamar going to be bringing a bit more aggression this round. We've seen him flexing around on all sorts today, but going to be on the knock and maybe looking to work off the back of some pre-placed drones and some early information and get something done here. He's already going to quickly make some ground in through to reception, puts the challenge in, but isn't able to land the finishing blow.
He's just looking to gain control of an early part of the map. Has taken in towards house and everything that comes with that. Finally, we're seeing a bit of brightness there for ITB. Kanto with an opening pick. On to Doki, a good player to eliminate. G2, they've now turned their eyes towards Geisha, gaining control of that room. But with obviously the Bandit still in play, opening that wall is not going to be easy. The Bandit tricking will play a big part for them. Kanto now just feeling a little bit scared. Maybe he tries to move back, actually deactivates one of his gadgets and the other one. Instead trying to, actually I like that, making sure that nobody from G2 could just slip in unannounced, because that's what we see sometimes from G2. Whenever they lose the player and things don't go as planned, somebody will try and get creative. So locking down those creative avenues for G2, which is just simply jump in a window and open up the site, I like that.
It's an important position to hold as the Fenrir. You've got to be really careful with the use of those gadgets. Alamau is now going to try and sneak his way through, but he's met by Azza immediately there. Didn't gain anything. Benja, he has managed to creep his way in. He's going to put some good damage in onto Noah, but again, not able to land the finisher. Virtue from inside a drum. Not sure if he knows that Kanto is going to be on those main stairs or not. Benja got himself into gold. He's really trying to fight his way through there, but it's just a front-up gunfight. He will find the kill over onto Kanto, though. And if Uno can win his one getting into Geisha, this could be devastating for Into the Breach.
Oh, Noah's shot, though, gave his position away, and Benj is still tearing apart the defense. Noah, he needs to win this, like he said, Ollie. If Uno just jumps in and kills him, then they lose Geisha control. You can see the crossbow in the back, and they know exactly where Noah is, and then goes the jump in. Benja!
Look at the timing.
Never count him out. This guy is just everywhere right now. That DMR, 2 shots to the chest, and you are gonna quad for Benja, not the ace. It cannot be the ace. The time is ticking. Now the diffuser needs to get planted by Uno. Oh my word, somebody's at the bar for him, and it will be the ace for Benja, master. Doki, I'm with you, son. I can't believe it either. How's he done that?
All of that because he crawled through into gold, into T. He was out on the balcony, inside a drum, in the connector, and he crawled himself through on his belly and just started spraying, started picking up those kills. Again, a round that you would easily count G2 out of. There were 2 men down, 3 versus 5, and you're looking at the positions that ITB hold and you're going, yeah, you look pretty good here. Benja gets 1. Benja gets 2, eliminates Kanto, frees up Virtue. and the push that they were able to achieve inside of Geisha, I think that Uno's done a fantastic job. He knew that Noah was there, and all he did was just stay outside, kept himself safe, and then the moment that he's hopping in, guess who's swinging around the corner? It's Benja. It was all Benja in round number 6. 5-1 G2 here as we switch sides.
Benja boy makes it work for his team, and again for ITB, it looked really good, Ollie, up until just a point where somebody gets a kill back and then utter mayhem just unfolds. And G2 are just winning all their gunfights. That is just plain and simple. Kenny's had no 1/6 you have to look at the kills across the board, and there's a gulf, a massive gulf right now. G2 will be more than happy with 5-1, and again, it's just, you get that sense of feeling it's going to be the same as Nighthaven. And don't forget, ITB now have to attack Skyscraper. We haven't seen how they actually perform on the attack, and let me tell you, attacking Skyscraper is not easy. And like we've mentioned before with the Thatcher ban, it just makes it all that bit harder. So I hope that ITB really know what they're doing. They can really hold their nerve whenever it comes to attacking Skyscraper, and just give us something. Just give us dreamers a chance.
We do love a Cinderella story, and we do love an underdog or a long odd really coming off. At the moment, it's looking increasingly unlikely. Doki, hello. There are other people that exist other than those that are on electronics, my friend, but the kills, they come in regardless here, thick and fast. We can barely keep up with the action. Virtue and Uno, they've cleaned shop. Gendry, he's still got 3 Ying Candelas, by the way.
Dear.
And he's going to fluff his shots there onto Virtue.
Oh.
Not the best showing.
Look at the difference. Whenever we see G2 go for the heavy roam game, they kill all the attackers. There's no sight gameplay. But whenever ITB try and go for a roam game and try and kill all the attackers, they're the one who gets sit down. They get sat down. It's a massive night and day difference. And I had that whenever it went 4-1, I just had a feeling. I used the word chalked, and I wasn't just talking about the round.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs
6-1 G2. We had a 7-3 opening map of Nighthaven. And we are set to have a very quick game here on Skyscraper. I think, Demo, at this point, if you're into the breach, you've just got to leave everything on the table. You cannot go with anything left. That last round, I saw 3 Candelas left in Kendrew's pocket. There was a huge desync from Into the Breach in what was happening. They weren't ready for the aggression that G2 were willing to bring. And you better believe that G2 are going to bring it. They have a 5-round advantage on you. Of course they are going to be flexing that, and they're going to be playing up in your face.
Yeah. I look at ITB, and as much as this showing just has not been good for them, I still think that they have honestly exceeded expectations of where I think this team should be. This team is only really just came together for this stage, and I think what they've been able to do and get to this point, the desk were saying, if you told us 6 months ago that this side was going to be here, 1 game away from going to the major, you laughed at them. You would have.
Yeah.
So, as much as it is disappointing for ITB fans and obviously the players and the coaching staff and everything involved with that organization, I still think they should be very happy with it. But G2's a different element. They're a completely different beast. They are, that team. If they need to win, they'll do it. They'll knuckle down. Sure, G2 have had their issues. We all know that. These G2 issues have been around for a long time, Ollie. But they still can function well when it matters.
Yeah. And that's the difference, isn't it? You've got G2 in a last chance qualifier. It's not a usual circumstance, is it? And when these players turn it on, they really turn it on full blast. See how this opening goes here. Doki looking to try and get involved. Will be punished by Noah. Noah in good position now to do something about some of these electronics and should be able to allow Yonka to move through and start to get the wall open.
Good pick.
We're not really seeing G2 have to fight from behind too much today.
No, it's been pretty dominant. I mean, there's been a few times, but for the most part, it has been pretty run-of-the-mill for G2, in control, commanding the lead. ITB, again, just very timid, but getting that first pick is a strong one. Struggling to get that Kide Claw. Have to use the nade instead, and up it goes. Kanto knows his mark. Does that get it? Yes, it does. Okay, good. Much better from ITB. Get those breaches open, gives yourself a lot of opportunities, and more nades from below will go in from Kanto, and Azur has to as well. But nobody from G2 are really looking to challenge on tonight. There's a yellow ping. One fly has walked into the spider's web. Ollie, and well, he gets eaten alive. The rest of the players from G2, look at them, passive as ever, looking to play out of the sight, avoiding the nades.
It's the classic G2 retake, isn't it? They know that the site isn't the safest place to be right now. And because they are 2 men behind, they don't really have the fortune to be able to watch everything. Don't have too much information to be going off either. No bulletproof to watch, and you can start to hear that execute come through. The smokes are going to do a lot of the covering, but Benja's picked up 2. This could be very dangerous indeed. The plant starts to go down, 2 versus 3. Virtue, got to try and rejoin, sorry, Uno, got to try and rejoin that party. Going to send the C4 out there. Surely not another Benja ace inside of this to take the whole thing. Thankfully for Into the Breach, not. Did a good job of playing to the win condition. They got the plan down there. They got a couple of opening picks, and they worked really well off the back of it.
That's a good attack. Solid. Straight to the point. Back to basics. Open the breaches. Give yourself as many opportunities as you can. Utilize the strong operators that you have at your disposal, such as the Ying, and just flood the site. Like you mentioned, they got the first pick, and that was very important. It gives you that extra man. So whenever it comes to the final big collapse and it's just trade city back and forth, you should always have 1 man left. So you're going to win because you had that opening pick. G2 just let it slip there a little bit. I think Doki just trying to stretch his legs too much, and he's pulled his hamstring there. I think he has. But still, it's the same story again for Nighthaven that we've seen, Ollie. It's only a matter of time before G2 just get that 1 round. One misstep from ITB and it's over. It's like going up against the mountain. If you just put 1 foot wrong, it'll cut you in half.
Not an easy task. The believers will and should continue to believe, though. Stranger things have happened in this game of Siege. Not necessarily this game, but the game overall. But yeah, you are looking at this and you are thinking, all G2 need to do is play good once, get lucky once, have something go their way once, win a 50-50. On the side of Into the Breach, they've got to do that 4 more times to try and drag this into an OT. Looks as though G2 are going to play a little bit more reserved at the start of this round. We haven't really got the same rushing out and looking to challenge people initially, at least with the positions that the players currently occupy. Instead, we're still doing a little bit of site setup last minute. Kanto, going to skeleton key open and see if he can put a little bit of the pain onto Benja right now.
Yeah, Benja just looking to get some early engagements, but will quickly rotate back. Without the Azami, means that Benja isn't as safe as what he would be if he had some keeper barriers to play behind. They still have castle barricades, I suppose, to fall back into, which is very similar to what the Azami can do. Just block off these certain avenues of approach for ITB. Will start to make their way now over towards Dragon, over towards Drum. Pretty run-of-the-mill stuff right now for ITB. Azur, 7-7 at the moment. He's got a nade in his pocket, and he's looking to improve that KD. If he can just slip into delivery, win his one. I think it's against Doki. Yeah, it is, over on the Solus. Doki just trying to find out some information, but ITB holding fast as it stands, Ollie.
Into the Breach, they've got about half the round left to play with. You can feel the pressure mounting on both sides here. Neither one wanting to take a reckless challenge or an early engagement. Into the Breach more than happy to continue their slow approach here and start clearing out these roamers. Bit of damage put into Alamal there from the skeleton key. He was bang on the money there with that shot. Was Kanto just opening up that line of sight. Alamal isn't feeling the need to dip out of here though. More than happy to play, recognizing the clock left and knowing that, well, he's got more chance of dying as he rotates out than anything else, but it's going to be Azur to kick things off with a great kill over onto Doki.
Alamal misses an easy kill. Twitch has just walked into sight, but Virtue cleans up. No diffuser going down as of yet from Yonka. Azur had double. Uno's gone. Benja on the hatch now. He also suffers the same fate. Azur popping off in pantry. He's thirsty for more though. 2 players to find. G2 have to go for the retake. Diffuser slowly ticking away. Kanto finds Virtue. ITB look as if they're gonna, again, still hang in there for yet again another round. G2 have let another one just slip through their fingers. And oh, I think he knows. I think Alamau knows that I think it's over. He's just going to try and get as many exit kills as he can. And there's Azur, feeds them one. Is Alamau going to drop? Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. Trying to open up some angles with the shotgun himself and just playing whack-a-mole, isn't he? Attackers don't know where to look.
Is. You could see it was almost like he'd malfunctioned there, where his mouse was just flying all over the room. It was almost the visual sigh of exhaustion that it is not going to be this round. We've probably just let that one slip a little bit too far. Again, great push from Into the Breach. It's starting to get a little bit dangerous now. The Dreamers are starting to feel a little bit less like Dreamers and a bit more like Future Seers. There is a chance that Into the Breach do pull this off here. They've got 3 more rounds left to go. But again, how many times are they going to be able to get that opening pick? How many times is a 50-50 going to go their way? You know, Benja looking down the hatch, just caught looking the wrong way. If he'd have been looking at the doorway, it would have been a different circumstance or potentially a different outcome. It really is tense stuff here for Into the Breach, but kudos to them because they're fighting tooth and nail. They're not going out without a fight demo.
No, they're not. Still in there. G2 need to maybe put the accelerator back on. I think they went into cruise control earlier, and ITB were looking for a bit of a race against them. G2. Last time they were here, it was just a straight bloodbath on this side of the map, towards the east side. You would expect that ITB will not fall for the same tricks previously. Monty will come in. It's going to play a big part for gaining the information against G2, which I think ITB have actually struggled with quite a bit, just gaining the information where G2 players are going to be stationed. So bringing in that Monty will help them out just a little bit more, control the game more. Looks as if they're still going to go for the east side clear. Ollie, a bold play considering what happened to them last time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that is necessarily the best strategy here for Into the Breach, but I mean, you can't really rely on Doki running out and picking up a couple of kills, or at least, I don't think he got killed, did he? It was Benja that got the kills. Benja was in a very similar position, though. But you still can't rely on that, so you can't, you know, let that affect your judgment too much. They're going to be bringing the Monty, so there is that option of that human drone, that brute force to really bully their way into the site. If you look at what G2 are bringing, they've only got 1 C4, no Legion this time to deal with that Monty. They do have the Toxic Babes of Alamau, however.
Oh, Benja takes a lot of damage, down to a minuscule amount of HP. ITB haven't really taken control of much as of yet. They've got the breach open. There's so many bodies from G2 stationed on this side of the map. Alamau creeps down, has the shotgun in hand. Another nade will be cooked, and Alamau's going to take this opportunity to get a freebie onto Azur. In comes the Monty. Doki collapses, so does Benja. G2 only look as if they're going to do it.
Kanto is the only remaining hope here. He's got a couple of players low HP, but it isn't going to matter. A flawless round to take G2 to the Atlanta Major.
Never in doubt for G2. Never in doubt. They just pick it up as if it's any other game to them. 7-3, 7-3. That's such a comfortable scoreline for G2. Never at any point did they look out of it. Were they weak, strong, right the way through. All of the games that they've played, thoroughly deserved. It would be such a shame not to have this team at the Major. And of course, that's SI secured in the mix of that.
It really is. It's a weird thing to be sat here casting G2 going into a Major through a last chance qualifier. It's not really where we expect this team to be actually getting their path to the Major. But you can wholeheartedly say that you're proud of them and that you wish them all the best moving into the Major, because they've shown through this last chance qualifier that, yes, they do deserve to be there. They have been the best team this weekend. And of course, with it, as you've mentioned, they have confirmed their attendance at SI 24. Don't go anywhere, because we've got a bit of a post show here today. We're going to throw this one back over to the desk. They're going to break the games down. And then we've got some familiar